he's being accused of being an anti-Semite or having made anti-Semitic comments. By the way, 2 headlines on the first page of my outline for you guys are Kanye West, anti-Semite or in a mental breakdown? Joe Biden, nuclear warmonger or in a mental breakdown? Okay, so back to Kanye. On Friday, he went on Instagram and got into a dust-up with Diddy, the artist formerly known as P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever. And he said to Diddy challenged him on his all White Lives Matter shirt and told West to, quote, stop playing these internet games. Then Kanye responded, this ain't a game. I'ma use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. Then he was kicked off Instagram. All right, so he was kicked right off of Instagram for that. Then he goes back on Twitter for the first time in 2.5 years because he's apparently, I don't know, I don't think he was banned. I think he just hadn't been using it. Yeah. And he just hasn't been using it. And he tweets out, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going Death Con 3 on, and then in all caps, Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be... What are you saying, Moynihan? The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball whoever opposes your agenda. And he was promptly locked out of Twitter. So no more Insta, no more Twitter, at least for now. I didn't know what to expect of his staunchest defenders. Like, I wasn't exactly sure how you defend that, where people are going to go. I'll read you someone I think is an honest broker, Jason Whitlock, took a shot at it. Not sure Jason has solved the problem, but this is what he says. Kanye West and Dave Chappelle, is there a pattern? The industry wants both of them canceled. So far, he's right. Black rappers and comedians are free to denigrate Black people and white men a million different ways, but there's a line they better not cross, and everybody knows it. And I actually did think when he wrote that, and women too, right? You can say whatever that bitches and hoes and whatever they want to say about women is fine. But like, he's trying to make a point when you bring Jewish people into it, it's a different story. All right, well, I'm feeling uncomfortable. Then he added, you can't question Black entertainers' unhealthy relationship with non-religious Jewish power brokers in Hollywood. Is that clear enough for you? And again, I'm like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
There's nothing better than coming at somebody who is accused of making an anti-Semitic comment with one of your own, which is essentially what that is. That is demented. I mean, both of them are demented. I think that, Kanye is obviously, and we've all been talking about this quite a bit. I know Kmele is a big booster of Kanye as a musician. I would necessarily say as a thinker, because all of us talked about the general incoherence of the Tucker interview with like moments of lucidity, but they're also just like, oh, okay, that's just a normal comment that he made. On the Jewish thing, I mean, this is
the Jewish question.
So no, this is definitionally anti-Semitic, I have to say. When you're talking about Jewish power, as if there's some sort of uniform kind of maybe a protocol of an elder of Zion that actually makes these things. I mean, it is a classically anti-Semitic trope that Hollywood is controlled by Jews. Not that there's disproportionate numbers of Jewish people in Hollywood, that it's controlled, which is a different kind of idea, and that they are coming after me or us through this cutout of P. Diddy, who or whatever he's called now, Diddy. Sorry, and that he is like kind of the Jews are the puppet master of. It's so bizarre and controlling. It's like, well, you can't actually say anything about Jewish power. It's like, well, you can say things about individual people who are Jewish. I don't believe that their Jewishness has any bearing on what they're doing. I don't think this is part of some. Jewish conspiracy is demented, bonkers, and wrong. And I think people who actually go to this point, what they're doing is they're saying, I mean, I saw that Candace Owens said something similar. They're taking a line, which is understandable in the broadest sense, about identity politics. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about that. I get that instinct, but here it's not applicable. Because why it's not applicable is you're talking about a group and assigning a sinister agenda to a group. That is insane. If you said, white people are trying to do X or Y, we call that out on the fifth column, and I think that you hear it on this show too. Is it, if you say Jews are doing this, also bad, but probably worse because of a very, very dark history of people making those comments about Jewish control as a minority, like the minority Jews are controlling the majority. It's a really dark argument to make, and it's also wrong.
Kmele, I know that you, I don't know how to say defended, but offered another piece to the story of Central Park Karen, Amy Cooper. Right? I think that was her name, right?
Well, not the Central Park Karen part, but yes, Amy Cooper.
Yeah, no, sorry. That's how people know her. I know I feel bad for her that people call her that, but that's how people know her. She had that confrontation with the angry bird watcher who got all, upset and so on, and became very viral. And you told the other side, was the guy had a long history of harassing dog owners in the park, and he had indeed threatened not just Amy's dog, but other people's dogs in the past, blah, blah, blah. So the problem I had with Amy Cooper, and you and I talked about this before, was not that she said, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you're threatening me, because he was. It was the fact that she said to him before she called the cops, she was going to mention his race. She said, I'm going to tell them that a black man is threatening me. That's where she went off the rails. If she had just called 911 and said, he's a black man, he's 6'2", he's in the bramble, that's one thing. And I think that's the problem with Kanye's comments too. It's not just like, you're being controlled by a bunch of Hollywood power brokers, and then he names them and they all happen to be Jewish. He's like saying, I'm going after the Jews. I mean, like, it's different. It's like, it's more in the, I'm going to make your race or your ethnicity or your religious views an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I'll set the Amy Cooper stuff aside for a moment and just talk about Kanye here. And I think it's important to acknowledge here that when Tucker sat down with Kanye, the knock on the interview was, why is anyone talking to Kanye? He's crazy. And then Kanye says something that seems kind of crazy. He tweets it anyways. And it is kind of incoherent and seems a bit anti-Semitic. And everyone's like, well, we need to condemn that immediately. Wait a minute. Are we supposed to be not listening to this guy because he's crazy? Or are we supposed to be condemning everything he says because we presume that there's kind of this precise racially motivated attack? And I should say, cards on the table, as I'm kind of seeing my visages on the screen here. And I know that over my shoulder is Kanye's discography. I'm a big fan
on the wall.
Kanye West. It's on the wall. I mean, I even have a Kanye bobblehead. Like, that's Kanye
West.
My
gosh.
I'm a big fan of Kanye West music. But that said, like, most artists aren't going to be brilliant intellectuals that have worldly knowledge about a range of important topics. Kanye's lyrics have always included kind of conspiratorial, nutty stuff about the government administering aids for the purposes of killing black people. And even in that Tucker interview, when he talked about obesity and how we have kind of romanticized it, how there are people who won't be honest about the fact that if you are morbidly obese, this could kill you. He says that the reason why this is happening is because there's a conspiracy to kill black people, a conspiracy which he is attributing to white people. It's the same sort of preposterous language. And I would agree with you, Megyn. It is broadly reprehensible that we traffic in this sort of stuff, but there is a sincere, fair point to be made that we actually do give people a pass to use this kind of categorical, totalizing language, and even to engage in that kind of bizarre conspiratorial musing when it comes to white supremacy and whiteness broadly, and we don't allow that when it comes to to Jewish people. I would say that that's probably the appropriate standard for us to regard that kind of race mongering for what it is, whether it's Tiffany Cross or it's Kanye West. Would say that's repugnant. That's something that people shouldn't be engaged in. I think some of the selective outrage about these things, and I do understand the unique history of talking about kind of Jewish people as puppet masters, that is gross and despicable. I think there's also a very high probability that Kanye West isn't familiar with that. Again, Jewish, black people are Jews. What are you talking about exactly?
What?
Is that like the guys who are in Times Square, the Hebrew Israelites that influence your perspective?
That's it, because that's
how
their
can you
argument,
take him
right?
seriously when he's talking about this? I love the music. I appreciate much of the fashion, but his insights on politics, I shelf them right next to like Bruce Springsteen's. I do not give a crap what they think about political issues.
Do you ever wonder if your vitamins are working? Right? You're just like, what are they doing anything? Clinical studies show Healthy Cell's new ingestible gel technology called microgel delivers maximum nutrient absorption, 165% more than tablets. Isn't that what you want? Maximum nutrient absorption. It tastes great too. It's hard to make vitamin liquids or gels taste good naturally, but Healthy Cell products are the best tasting pill-free supplements on the market. Go pill-free and get up to 15 pills worth of nutrients in one ultra absorption gel pack, saving you money and time and giving you effective doses in the process. Take a single great tasting gel pack at home or on the go. It's great for travel. You can mix it into drinks or blend it into smoothies. Old-fashioned tablets, capsules, powders, they contain synthetic other ingredients, such as binding glues, flow agents, fillers, and coatings that could irritate your gut. Plus, this is made in the USA. Visit healthycell.com/Megyn or code Megyn when you check out for 20% off your first order. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.